the second topic is, should I take economy topic or Afghanistan topic? Afghanistan, because just now I have discussed economy, if again do economy, you will get bored. Okay. What is happening in the state of Afghanistan? What is happening in the state of Afghanistan? Taliban are ruling now. If Taliban rules, what will happen? So they rules on the basis of Sharia. Actually, their interpretation of Sharia. Don't say Sharia, their interpretation of Sharia, because the interpretation to Sharia is different in different countries. Saudi different it in a different way. India interprets in a different way. Even Supreme Court of India has also interpreted in triple talaq case. So their interpretation, based on their interpretation of Sharia, they are ruling. What is the problem if they follow Sharia? There is no place for human rights. There is no place for equality, women rights. So these are all the problems. See, apart from all this problem, is there any problem to India?
Yes, sir.
Is there any problem to India?
Sir, we have spent about 30 billion crores rupees for the construction of monuments, etc. there.
Okay. See, you are all sitting here, you are murmuring among yourself, and somebody is saying from that side, I'm able to hear that clearly. I'm not saying that you don't know answer. You also know the answer. But if you murmur among yourself, I can't hear it. Okay. So, as someone said, we have spent a lot of money and that is going to be wasted now. Anyway, it's not going to be wasted. Somewhere we need to harness it. I don't know how the government will really harness it. But anyhow, apart from security problem, security is one of the biggest problem. See, I'm asking a simple question before I'm entering into Afghanistan. Did really India have any border with the state of Afghanistan? From the Pakistan occupied Kashmir, we are having a border with the state of Afghanistan. And if anyone really believes that POK is not belongs to India, then you can certainly say that. Afghanistan is not a neighbor. But if you think that POK belongs to India, then Afghanistan is a neighbor to India. But anyhow, present government strongly believes that POK should be belongs to India. And today one of the statement came from Mohan Bhagwat, whatever the partition we have made, and once we complete that partition only, we can heal our wounds. That's what the statement. That means he wanted to merge enter Pakistan and Bangladesh with India. Okay, that's a different story. We are not interested in that. But anyhow, when the present government is strongly believing that POK belongs to India and Afghanistan is a border, then we have to consider Afghanistan is a border country. Maybe it's not with India, it is with somebody else, but it is still disputed area. Still we consider it as part of India. So Afghanistan is our neighbor. Okay, that is a point. Now tell me, I have explained to some extent to some of the students with respect to this crisis of Afghanistan while we are having some of the newspaper sessions. But again, I want to give some sort of details because I could not explain all the topics during that newspaper session because of paucity of time. But anyhow, when actually this crisis of Afghanistan started, in which year it was started? In the modern time, it was started in the 1978. When I say in the modern, maybe in the ancient time, might happen some other things. In the 1990s and 1920s, there was any Anglo-Afghan wars happened. And prior to that, many wars happened. But don't forget that Afghanistan was once upon a time, it was a Buddhist country. I think in Buddhism and Jainism, you might have learned about what was the place that was destroyed by the Taliban's? Bamiyan. Did you got the reference of Bamiyan while you are going through the Buddhism and Jainism? Bamiyan was a Buddhist site in the state of Afghanistan. Okay, so it was started in the modern time in the year 1978. What happened in the 1978 was, it was the era of Cold War. It was the era of Cold War. So the war between capitalist group and communist group, USA and USSR, headed by USA and later by USSR. See, there was a government in the state of Afghanistan with the support of USSR. With the support of USSR, in the year 1978, People's Democratic Party, these parties are not important. People's Democratic Party, just for your reference I am giving. People's Democratic Party, it is having a support of communists. And simply you can say like it's a communist party of Afghanistan. And at that point of time, every communist in the world is having a support from the USSR. Later China. But anyhow, the communists involved in a coup, C-O-U-P. Coup, we call it as coup. Coup d'etat. Anyway, you will get this term in history. That means they revolted against the existing system, coup d'etat. In the 1978, and communists came to power. Once the communists came to power, then United States of America thought that USSR is going to control the entire state of Afghanistan, because the Cold War itself, it is not a direct war, but it is an indirect war. It's a war of influence. It's a war of influence. It's not a direct confrontation. How many countries are with you? How much amount of GDP is with you? How much amount of technology is with you? How much trade you are controlling? This is what exactly that, it's like a competition. It's a bad competition. It's not a good competition. That is what exactly the Cold War. And during the Cold War, USSR want to try to influence as many states as possible, like USSR also want to control as many states as possible. If immediately USSR Communist Party came to power in 1978, then USA got some sort of trouble, because the state may getting into the hands of USSR. It is something like a defeat to the USSR. How can I allow this state to be to enter into the hands of USSR? They don't want it. They don't want it. Anyhow, this Communist Party came to power, and wherever Communist Party comes, there definitely some sort of land reforms, social reforms they will do. But apart from that, some sort of dictatorial tendencies will also enter, because it's a Communist Party principle itself. It's a dictatorship of proletariat. Do you know the meaning of this? Dictatorship of proletariat. Communism is nothing but it's a working class dictatorship. That's what their principle. Actually, in the earlier dictatorship, it was the person who was wealthy and who are the ruling classes, they become the dictator. But in a communist world, the working class itself become the dictators. That doesn't mean that every working person will become the dictator. A party representing the working class will become the dictator. And they think that our dictatorship is to bring the equality. Our dictatorship is to bring some social reforms. Our dictatorship is to provide everything to the common man. That is how some dictatorial tendencies came, and they have started implementing land reforms and other issues. Then immediately USA has started supporting. Then immediately USSR has started supporting. And ultimately communists won. But because of the internal struggles in the Communist Party, ultimately in the year 1979 December, the USSR has directly entered into the state of Afghanistan to rule the state of Afghanistan. That is how the Afghanistan's polity has changed from Afghan owned or Afghan led to USSR led. Now the USSR started controlling it. Once the USSR started controlling it, United States of America could not digest all these things. Because it completely entered into the hands of a communist bloc. They don't want it to happen. Then they started, anyhow, in any country, There is a ruling class and there is a minority class. Minority in the sense may not be religious, but anything. This minority always fight on the existing government, and this minority people got support from the United States of America via Pakistan. From Pakistan, America has not entered directly, but through Pakistan it entered, and Pakistan started giving money, arms, started giving training to these minority people. We call them as mujahidins. Mujahidins. So these mujahidins got complete support from the United States of America and Pakistan, and they have started fighting against the USSR. And they have fought it for around 9 years, and in the year 1989, USSR could not face the Afghanistan forces, and they left the state of Afghanistan. And after that, in the 1990, USSR got completely collapsed. I think those who have already gone through the world history, they can understand the policies of Gorbachev, Mikhail Gorbachev policies, perestroika and glasnost. These are the two policies. Anyway, you will study in the world history. Don't worry about that. Because of those policies, it has completely collapsed. When it is completely collapsed, then there is no USSR. And USA is still playing. It's a silent spectator. It's just watching what is happening in this country. So anyhow, USSR has left this Afghanistan, but now it is completely loaded with a religious organization or a people who are belong to one particular extremist religious sentiments called Mujahidins. Now they are having arms and everything. And meanwhile, some governments have formed in the state of Afghanistan, but they could not sustain. These forces again attacked, and finally, they have formed their own government in the year 1996. We call it as Taliban government. From 1996 to 2001, they have ruled. And in between 1996 to 2001, they have ruled the Afghanistan on the same lines of Sharia. There is no human rights, women rights, no equality, nothing. But somewhere something happened in the year 2001. The Al-Qaeda chief Osama bin Laden, he was a terrorist, and America wanted this terrorist, but that person took asylum in the state of Afghanistan. They have asked the state of Afghanistan, the then Taliban state, to hand over that Osama bin Laden. They could not. But what he has done is, meanwhile, he attacked the Twin Towers of United States of America. It was happened in the year 2001. And after that, he took asylum in the state of Afghanistan. He is having his own base in Pakistan and Afghanistan. And in order to take a revenge on the Afghanistan, on the Osama bin Laden, the entire NATO, America-led NATO forces, because you have to be very clear, you can't say America entered, America-led NATO forces enter into the state of Afghanistan. From 2001 to 2021, the America-led NATO forces are in the state of Afghanistan. What they have done in the state of Afghanistan from 2001 to 2021, they have neutralized some of the terrorists to some extent, but unfortunately they have failed in neutralizing the Taliban. The reasons to some of the students have already explained in the class. Some of the reasons are the soil itself is such. We don't know the exact reason, but the Afghanistan people are such. If you take the case of the Panipat War, third Panipat War fought between Ahmad Shah Abdali and the then Peshwas of Maharashtra. Marathas. At that point of time, they are ruling entire India in the sense not present India, but there is some different parts of India. And there was an Anglo-Afghan wars fought in 1990s, 1919, 1920, 1921. They have failed. And even USSR forces could not win over Afghanistan forces. And now even America could not win over the Afghanistan forces. Maybe their tactics, maybe their ferociousness, maybe their level of sacrifice, we don't know. But the soil has that feeling. So it's very difficult to win Afghan forces. Moreover, they only do guerrilla wars. So guerrilla warfare means, do you know what is guerrilla warfare? Fight and disappear. It's not something like a straight war. I think you might have seen some movies like Bahubali or something, where there is a one army on one side and another army on another side, and we start fighting. But guerrilla war is not like that. Guerrilla war is something, I will come and I will shoot and I'll disappear from here. And I don't know where again I'll reappear. This is what guerrilla warfare. There is no rules for this war. It's complete mischief. At one point of time, Marathas were used to do this guerrilla warfare. So because of this guerrilla warfare and the historical, whatever the things that they have, it has become very difficult for America to win in the state of Afghanistan. But meanwhile, America has started some democratic process in the state of Afghanistan. America has started some democratic process in the state of Afghanistan. What America said, see your country, you are always run by religion and everything. It's a theocratic state. I will learn the democracy. What is exactly democracy? Democracy is a good thing. With democracy, you will get a lot of things. Democracy will give a representation to everyone. Democracy is to fulfill the aspirations of everyone. That you wanted to establish a democracy in the state of Afghanistan. That is where America has started failed. For what purpose you enter into the state of Afghanistan? To establish a democracy? No. You entered just because to kill the Osama bin Laden. And Osama bin Laden was already assassinated. Then why you are there still in America? Sorry, why you are still there in Afghanistan? You wanted to neutralize every Taliban. Have you succeeded in that? No. And what you wanted to do, you want to establish a democracy. I can understand democracy can solve many problems, but democracy has its own demerits. But until and unless people themselves prepare for the democracy, you cannot impose democracy on anybody. Either it is dictatorship, or either it is democracy, or even if it is a socialism to that extent. Socialism in the sense, in terms of communism, it is an ideal world. In terms of communist, socialism is nothing but it's an ideal world where there are no inequalities, where everyone is equal, where one cannot be exploited by another, where all the public assets will be in the hands of the people. This is what socialism. But even you cannot impose socialism on somebody. If the people prepares for that, then only you can impose anything. But without getting prepared, America wanted to impose democracy on this people of Afghanistan. That is how it has started. And in that democratic process, some presidents came, and the last president was, who was the last president of Afghanistan? Ashraf Ghani. Ashraf Ghani was the last president. And the very horrible thing in the state of Afghanistan is, some of the people in the state of Afghanistan, they don't recognize this Ashraf Ghani as the president. And when president is moving, some people will blast the bombs. Some people don't support Ashraf Ghani. This is what a horrible condition. But ultimately, in the name of this war from 2001 to 2021, American government has spent some huge sums of money in the state of Afghanistan, and ultimately it had failed. And perhaps you will study in your world history the Vietnam War. Vietnam War was where completely America has got defeated. Four American presidents have fought that war. 4 presidents fought. And at that point of time, entire communist world has united. Tumhara naam, mera naam, sabka naam, Vietnam. That was the slogan given by the communist world at that point of time. Completely America defeated. And after that, America don't want to experience the same results in the state of Afghanistan. And it has become an election issue in the state of America. The subsequent American presidents have started giving a promise that at any cost, we will withdraw the forces from the state of Afghanistan. That is how withdrawal process has started. And there was a discussions happened at Doha. But when they are withdrawing, there was again a conflict. Okay, we are withdrawing. Then what about this democracy which we have established? There is no support for that. On the other hand, the Taliban forces are rising. So is it by the Taliban or is it by the democracy? Who has to rule the next Afghanistan? And America has said that we are in the discussion process, but simply America said that the next course of action will be taken through the internal discussion in the state of Afghanistan. And by that time, the Taliban have already occupied almost 30%, 40%, 50%. Perhaps you might have read in the newspapers and watched in the news channels. Like today, 30% was in the control of Taliban, 40%, 45, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. Completely gone the discussions. Now the Taliban came to power. But now you are singing a different song that the Afghanistan is not respecting the fundamental rights. Have you respected when you were in the state of Afghanistan? Don't you know all these consequences? You know everything, but deliberately you have made this. That is how now every country is entering into Afghanistan. They are giving some humanitarian aid. This is exactly the story of Afghanistan, but I don't want to go more elaborate on that. I'm looking into the India's aspect into the state of Afghanistan. That is where we are more concerned. Now, what are India's interests? See, India's interests are, there was a policy started by the government of India in the year 1997, neighborhood policy. It is not Narendra Modi government, but when Narendra Modi government came, they said neighborhood first. But any country will really perform at the global stage when they are performing at the regional stage. Around you, if you have the enemies or adversaries, simply you cannot grow like a global power. It's not possible. But unfortunately, if you take the case of India, the India's two close neighbors, Pakistan and China, are adverse to the India. They are adverse to the India. What about Bangladesh? We don't know exactly the position of Bangladesh. It always tilts between India and China because China is having huge amount of money. It is pumping huge amount of money into the states on the name of development. What about Sri Lanka? Sri Lanka is also same thing. When Rajapaksa was the president, it has completely tilted towards the China. Again, now Rajapaksa brothers are there. And yesterday also there was a news about Eastern container terminal was awarded to China. I'll come to that East and West later. But one project is awarded to China. And China is going to build a financial city in the Colombo waters. And already Hambantota in the hands of China for the 99 years of lease. So that is the case of Sri Lanka. What about Maldives? Maldives was earlier completely shifted towards the China, but to some extent now we are expecting that maybe Maldives will come towards India. What about Nepal? Earlier it was with India, but with some of the bad policies we have implemented, now it is completely tilted towards China. Perhaps I can only say that a little country, Bhutan, is with India. But what you will do with that Bhutan? You can't do anything. So that is the exactly position of India. To some extent, we are trying. We are giving some helping hand to that countries, but still we cannot certainly say that this country will always be remain with India. With certain confidence, we can't say. Then, if Afghanistan will also become an adversary to India, then it will be very difficult to deal its affairs in its region. That is the reason why we are always concerned with the state of Afghanistan. When America was in the state of Afghanistan, we have extended a lot of support to the state of Afghanistan, whether it is humanitarian assistance or whether it is development assistance, and even security assistance also we have extended to the state of Afghanistan when Modi came to power in the year 2014 and 15. Actually, India has stopped giving security assistance way back in the 1989, where Sri Lanka is fighting war with LTTE. At that point of time, our Indian soldiers enter into the state of Sri Lanka and they have fought a war, and we have paid heavy price to that. LTTE has assassinated the former Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. And at that point of time, we have taken a very serious decision. India will never enter into any security agreement, or we don't send our forces to anywhere. But still, we have extended, in spite of having that policy, we have extended some support to the state of Afghanistan. We have built a Salma Dam. The parliament building, whatever the building now the Taliban are ruling, is built with the assistance of India. And we have laid a Zaranj-Dilaram highway from the Iran-Afghanistan border to the interiors of Afghanistan. Zaranj-Dilaram highway. And that is in turn connected to the Gwadar port of Iran. Suppose just assume it is Iran and it is having border with the state of Afghanistan. If this is India, Gwadar port, road, again road. This road we have built. And it's not just a road. It also includes some sort of train network. We have built it because we wanted to connect from Afghanistan to the Central Asian countries, because Central Asian countries are mineral rich countries. Lot of uranium is available. And we don't have such uranium with us. We have a thorium. Where we have the thorium? In Kerala coast. In Kerala coast, we are having a lot of thorium. You will understand the importance of uranium and thorium whenever you are going through your science and technology. In your nuclear reactor technology, you will understand what is the importance of that. But you need uranium and you need a connectivity from the Central Asia. That is the reason why we have given a lot of this assistance to the state of Afghanistan. And we have supplied even wheat, everything we have supplied. But when USA was in state of Afghanistan, we always believes that, India always believes that the Taliban forces who are there in the state of Afghanistan, they are helping some of the extremist forces who are in the state of Pakistan, and as well as also having their base in the Afghanistan, are actively working towards the disadvantages of India. They're actively working against the interests of India. And we don't want to be so soft towards the Taliban. We wanted the Taliban regime should end. There must be a democracy, because these people are terrorists. These people are terrorists. We don't want to talk with these Talibans. And even today, still we are believing that there are some forces which are acting against the interests of India, are having their own base in Pakistan and Afghanistan. They are actively getting the support from the states of Pakistan and as well as Afghanistan. That is why we said we don't talk with Talibans. If at all the discussion has to happen, the discussion should be between America and as well as the government of Afghanistan, the Ashraf Ghani government. Then we have said. And we don't want to be in touch with the Talibans. We don't want to identify Talibans. We are completely against the Talibans. Will you talk with the Talibans? They are the terrorists. What will you talk with the terrorists? And even if you take the India and Pakistan, what was the stand? First of all, remove terrorism, then you come to the talks. Terrorism and talks cannot go together. That is what the India's position with respect to the Pakistan. If at all you want to talk on POK, J&K, we are ready. But until and unless the terrorism allies, if you are sending the terrorists through the borders, we don't come to the discussion. The same opinion we have expressed in the case of Afghanistan. If at all discussions has to happen between the government and the United States of America. But United States of America has its own self-interest because they are wasting a lot of money. So they left. The moment they left, then the Taliban came to power. Now, what is India's position? You said someone is very dangerous. Now that dangerous fellow has become the ruler of that country. And you have spent a lot of amount of money. And initially, we are so reluctant to talk to the Taliban. And even today, at the higher level, we haven't concluded any discussion with the state of Taliban. But at the lower level, some of the officers are doing discussion with the state of Taliban. Now, India is having some serious problems because we don't know how long these Talibans are going to survive. Until and unless there is an internal revolution, no one can support the state of Afghanistan now, because America is having a bitter experience. Now, no country will dare to enter into the state of Afghanistan to settle the issue. Now, America is somewhere else and they are daily issuing a press note that they are not protecting the fundamental rights, they are not protecting the human rights or whatever the women rights. It is against this convention, that convention. So they are citing all these conventions. But we are in the neighbor. We are in the neighbor. We strongly believe that these people will importing the terrorism into the country, and these people have an active support of the state of Pakistan. And we want to have a connectivity to the Central Asia. And anyhow, Pakistan don't allow us to have a connectivity with the state of, this is Pakistan, Afghanistan, Pakistan, state of Afghanistan and Iran. Earlier we wanted to go to Central Asia. Pakistan has not allowed us. So what we have done through Iran, and through Iran too, we went to the Central Asia. Now Afghanistan is not yours. Then how will you go to Central Asia? You have to find a different route. You have to find a different route. So it's very difficult for India to access to the Central Asian countries. Central Asian countries, first point. Second point, security. Security. How the Taliban are going to play a role in regulating the forces which are acting against the interest of India. America is saying, America has concluded an agreement with the Taliban that Afghanistan territory should not be used for the players who are acting against the interest of America. But America cannot sign on behalf of you. America's agreement does not say that Afghanistan territory should not use against the interest of India. It is only against the interest of America. Then how they are going to play a role? And what is the relation between Pakistan and Taliban? We don't know. If another adversarial power comes in the neighbor, in the India's neighbor, then again it is very difficult. Very difficult. Next, role of China. Now what China is doing now? What China is doing, wherever India is having an adversary, then China will become friend of that country. Because enemy's enemy is friend. That is what Chanakya's Niti. That's what Chanakya said. Your enemy's enemy is always your friend. And China's enemy is India, India's enemy is Afghanistan. Still now we haven't said that Afghanistan is our enemy. But China wants to experience its influence in the state of Afghanistan. And China has already recognized the state of Afghanistan. China welcomed the Taliban rule. And Chinese ministers have met with Talibans. Because Afghanistan is strategically important for China. China has its own reason. I am not getting into the details of that. China is doing Belt and Road. It needs assistance of Afghanistan. It has some resources. In yesterday's newspaper itself, they mentioned like what was that mineral? Lithium. Lithium. For lithium, they are finding. And apart from that, some Chinese divisive forces in Xinjiang region. There actually Uyghur Muslims are there. They are closely associated with the state of Afghanistan. And ultimately, they wanted to reduce the influence of India in this region. In this region. So if India's influence will become less in this region, then China can simply dominate this region. That's what the Chinese plan. That's what Chinese plan. So certainly we need to change this attitude of China by giving some sort of support to the state of Afghanistan. It's very difficult to change this stand. And today our Prime Minister said, and he apologized the entire country. He can change this stand, no? But you need to convince the state of Afghanistan that we are with you. But we are so late in that process. China has already started. That is how, I don't know whether we are missing the state of Afghanistan or not. I cannot comment on that, but somewhere our policy is not proactive towards the state of Afghanistan. They may be terrorists, but don't forget that they are your neighbors. And today some people say like, okay, Taliban's now shed terrorism, Taliban's will respect the human rights. It's all about internal issues. But as a neighboring country, when you don't given a hand holding, certainly some enemy has come. Now he has given a hand holding. Now China is going to exercise its own influence in the state of Afghanistan. That is how India is going to lose. And we have created a group called SAARC. I think you are all aware about this SARC. If you are not anyway in international relations, you will get. What is this SARC? Just expand it. South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation. Pakistan is a member in that. China want to enter into the SARC group and want to exercise its influence in the SARC region, but India has not allowed. But ultimately, India has reached a stage where India abandoned the SARC because Pakistan is there. And Afghanistan is also a member. Now 2 members have become adversarial. So what will you do? So the thing is, maybe you have a security issues. Maybe you have an issue with the state of Pakistan, but don't forget that they are the neighbors. If your neighbors will entering into the hands of your enemy, then it will be very difficult for you. And there was an essay on India and its neighbors in 2018, I think, 18 or 19. Then you have to write all these things. All these things in the sense, not Afghanistan story. How India relations with the state of Afghanistan. We have spent a lot. We wanted that country. We are historically bonded together. We are culturally closed. Bring all these things. Don't say like you are Taliban, so I don't want to talk to you. This should not work in the international relations. Just say, we are the neighbors. We are having historical relations. Don't forget, Buddhism has connected you and me. And even you are having Islam and I am having Islam. Likewise, you need to improve the relations with the state of Afghanistan. But still, India is following a wait and watch policy. I don't know why they are doing wait and watch policy. Maybe there is an internal revolution in the state of Afghanistan. Certainly, there will be an establishment of democracy. Perhaps if you wait till that point of time, maybe you will lose the opportunity. I don't expect that the American people will really do a revolution in the state of Afghanistan. And no other country is ready to enter into the state of Afghanistan. Maybe if at all the country as an Afghanistan want to survive as a state, it has to mend its ways. It has to change its course. It cannot be like 1996 to 2001. It has to respect something. It has to relate itself with the other countries. It has to follow international norms. Otherwise, no one will give support. But maybe India is doing a wait and watch approach on that. But if your really policy works well, then it is fine. Otherwise, you will miss the bus. And you will have another neighbor, you will have another adversarial power in your neighbor. That's what you need to understand. So while you are writing answer in international relations with respect to any country, don't say that abandon relations with this country, we don't need this country. Don't write that. Even if the question comes on Pakistan, you have to be in a positive manner. Yes, we have a border dispute. Let the border dispute be border dispute. But at least we can have a trade. At least we can have a cultural context. At least like we have, even though we have a border dispute, but we have built Kartarpur Sahiba corridor, we have opened recently. So likewise, we need to move forward. Such type of approach you need to say. Otherwise, if BJP has its own view and Congress has its own view, you no need to bind with the views of BJP and Congress. Okay? So that is what about the state of Afghanistan. I think some of the things have not written on the board, but perhaps you understood and try to make a note out of that. Don't listen like a story. Okay.